Welcome to episode 4 of NTS. It's been a hard week. Today I'll be reading more of your DMs. It's very hard to see all that's unraveling in the world and to try and remain in some modicum of sanity, but we all seem to be doing it. I won't get into too much details, but I think we all know what's unraveling, whether it's with ICE in the US, whether it's what's happening in Iran, Sudan, Congo, Gaza. The list goes on. I think it's if I break down during today's podcast, please bear with me. If I stammer more than I normally stammer, please bear with me because I think I tragically fit into the category of people who feel things a bit too profoundly. But yeah, it's a podcast, and so I will try and maintain some semblance of normalcy. Thank you all for being a part of this journey. Don't forget to subscribe. And I hope by reading these messages that we all feel a bit less alone. So let's start, shall we? So today, we replaced the girl with a pearl earring for a Van Gogh tube, and this is where I'll pull some DMs. Okay, let's see what the producers have picked. So this is the first DM. It was sent on Tuesday, 7:17 p.m. Hi. I just wanted to thank you for your content and how you make me feel somehow loved because I feel you. My friends from school don't accept gay people, and I have to hide my sexuality because I'm in a Christian school. Recently, my friends started suspecting I like girls. Okay, so I'm assuming this is a woman. And now they run away from me at school and hate me. I have nobody. My grandma is sick, and she's not going to get better. My parents are shit, they don't help, and my therapist is trying so hard to help me. I'm stuck self-harming now, and I feel there's no purpose of me being here. The only things keeping me alive is SZA, Billie Eilish, and my grandma. That's very sweet. I don't think I can do this. Since 2022, my depression has been just getting bigger and it reaches its limit. Just wanted to thank you for your videos because they always make me feel better and I smile a little. Oh. A DM from a lovely lady. My response to this, I hope you know how much your grandma loves you. Sometimes, and I love your. I don't know how young you are, but you said you go to a Christian school. I grew up Catholic. I grew up relentlessly hating myself growing up because I felt I was born a sin. It was one of the most harrowing feelings to sit in the pulpit with my family, knowing that I was gay, and listen to the priest, the Catholic priest, talk about how homosexuality was a sin. And there used to be a particular priest who would harpoon on the topic. He used to make like anti-sodomy his agenda. And I always felt, can I be honest? I always felt like he was doing it because maybe he had his own crisis with the phenomenon of being attracted to men. There was always a particular priest who would always make that the lengthiest part of his sermon. And in hindsight, I find that very strange. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is that look, I still believe there's a God. I have wonderful agnostic friends whom I respect, and I equally advocate for their right to believe in what they believe in. I think that's the beauty of life. But it took me a long time to realize that the God that made me certainly made everyone. You know, whatever God we believe in, we must come from the same one, presumably. You know, and this might sound like a terrible, weird thing to say, but it's been scientifically proven that a man's G-spot or pleasure centers exist in the prostate. So, and we were designed and created by the creator, and so there's no way that exists for no reason. Having said that, and without sounding like someone who is speaking blasphemously, science aside, what I want to say to you is this. I hope you live long enough to find your tribe, because just like me, you will learn that there are people who will accept you for who you are without apology. I know that you are in a circumstance and a situation where you are academically restrained to the school you're in. I want you to know that that will get better. Life will not get better, but that reality of being with people who don't understand you, that will change. You will graduate. You will go to another school. It will evolve. And so please hang in there and try and actively find a support system of people who don't judge you. You know, you said in your DM that your friends run away from you because they realize that you might be a lesbian. Don't even put yourself in a position to have them run away. Find new friends. And it sounds much easier said than done, but you'll be happier. You'll be much, much happier. Because those aren't really your friends in the first place. I'm glad your therapist is someone that you clearly feel you are connected to, and I'm glad you acknowledge your therapist's efforts. That's beautiful. I'm sorry you find your parents shit. I did too for a long time, but I will also say that your parents are doing what I imagine is the best they can with what they know to do. And so there's nothing wrong with taking stock of your own life and sticking to your therapist through this. I'm rooting for you. I don't know who you are, but I am rooting for you. And as somebody who grew up Christian and Catholic, I resonate with your words more than ever. So keep listening to SZA and Billie Eilish. Keep finding reasons hour by hour to stay around. I know the best. I mean it. Okay, let's see what else the producers have selected. Come on, Vincent. Sorry. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. This was sent yesterday at 9:05 p.m. Hi, Joseph. I'm writing to you because I am truly inspired by the platform you built, as well as the fearless ways in which you're able to express yourself. I don't know if I'm fearless, but thank you. With that being said, hi, my name is, let's say K. My name is K, and I was recently diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder in July. Okay, I'm learning something new today. Schizoaffective disorder. Okay, it's been tough to manage, but I've been taking therapy and psychiatry to help with some of my symptoms. The problem is, I don't quite believe in the sessions, just because they haven't helped. My cousin TJ was also diagnosed with the same condition. He lived to be around 24 before committing in September 2017, and was about 13 years older than me. I am quite myself, and I often debate jumping into the Detroit River during the freezing cold temperatures. This was sent yesterday, my god. Sorry if that's TMI, too much information. I've learned something new today. I didn't know till now what schizoaffective disorder was. So thank you for enlightening me on that. I don't have any knowledge on your disorder. I'm sorry that the therapy and the psychiatry and the sessions with your psychiatrist doesn't seem to be working. I'm really sorry. I understand what it feels like to feel like you are stagnant. I want you to know that I don't want this to sound controversial, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say this. No one deserves to die violently. And this is why I will always be against the ending of one's life, but I will always be in favor of euthanasia or medically assisted death. I will always be in favor of medically assisted death because you don't have to freeze to death and drown in a river in Detroit. But you do deserve to find solutions, whether you choose to stay or not, that involve and prioritize your dignity as a human being. You deserve that. You are deserving of that, no matter what your disorder is. And so I hope you look for solutions beyond violence, whether you choose to stay or not. Again, I acknowledge my ignorance about your disorder, and I'm very grateful that I have learned about something called schizoaffective disorders. I didn't know they existed. I can't imagine how painful and exhausting that must be, and that's what I'm saying. I can't. So I want to express my sincere compassion for that, but I want to tell you that the way to go doesn't have to be painful and cruel. You don't need to implement self-cruelty if you're suffering. There are other ways. And from the bottom of my heart, that's the best I can tell you now. I don't want to say it'll get better. I don't want to say things that I don't know to be true. But what I do know to be true is that you deserve dignity because you're a human being. And I'll leave it there. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your kind words as well. This platform exists so that people feel less alone, and thank you for sharing your story with me, Kay. Okay, let's do maybe one more, shall we? Okay, try to shuffle, so bear with me. Okay, this was sent on Monday at 11:13 p.m. Hi, I'm sorry to bother you. Okay, guys, you aren't bothering me. I appreciate all these preemptive sentences, but please never feel like you're bothering me when you send me these DMs. So, but anyway, I'll read it still. Hi, sorry to bother you. I'm 24. All of you are so young. I'm 24 since less than a month ago. I've been in the psych ward more times than I can remember. My last attempt was 3 months ago. I've been dealing with ADHD, BPD, and EDS all my life. My fiance has EDS. So, I understand. At least on that level, I understand. I've never had a peaceful place to just exist. I feel very selfish writing to you because I really don't want to bother you with my story. Again, that's fine. I recently started dating the love of my life, and I'm afraid because I don't want my mental health to make any harm to her. It's very responsible. You must love her. She deserves the world. My only dream is to heal so I can provide her a nice future. Anyway, have a great day. It's very touching. I don't think I have any tears left, to be honest with you. I think it's all just quite heartbreaking though. I think this is making me a bit emotional though because it's there's an earnestness in this person's tone. They met someone they really like adore, and they want to rise to the occasion despite having all these pseudonyms attached to their suffering as far as mental health issues. I don't know who you are, but you seem like a lovely person. Love is blind. Love doesn't judge. I think there's something very gallant. There's something very gallant about wanting to be a better person for this person to have a future with. What I will say is, you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you tried to end your life 3 months ago like you say you did, by all means, love is love is love. And I'm so happy for you. But make sure that the person that you love understands the volatility of your state, given the chronic mental disorders you're battling. That's the best you can do. I'm a huge romantic, and I love the notion of putting everything on the line for the person you love. But I also think it's important to be fair. And so while this might not be the sexiest thing to say to you, I'm going to say it again and repeat myself. You can't pour from an empty cup. So learn to love yourself And the best way to do that is by trying to get the best help possible if you can afford it, and if you have the support system to be able to put yourself in the best position to love someone else. I wish I could say go with the wind, love radically, but you first need to feel like you are at a place in your life where you can fully embrace who you are in all its beauty and in all its terror. I, for example, just using myself because I don't have any other reference point, but I, for example, find that I couldn't have been with my fiancé without experiencing EMDR treatment, without finding ways to cope with the ailments, with the mental ailments that I endure. I could not be a present partner for them in the way that means something. And so I would encourage you to speak to your partner about that reality, so that the thing you love the most, which is this person, doesn't become subject to your destruction in the case that you don't have the right support system to live a more stable life. But by all means, I'm so happy you found love, and I wish you the best. Okay, I think that's it for me today. It's funny, 4 episodes in, I'm always surprised by how much this process drains me emotionally. Because these are real people. These are real people's lives who are just doing the best they can. They really are. So, yeah, it's sometimes very jarring how many people confide in me this way. But I'm grateful for it, and that's what this podcast is about. So I hope anyone seeing this feels less alone. Till next time. Okay guys, so for this segment of Show and Tell, we have this book by Ryszard Kapuscinski. It's called Nobody Leaves. It's a book that I intend to read because it was recommended to me by a friend who knew about my love of Anthony Bourdain. Kapuscinski is sort of like late 50s, early 60s. It's a series of essays about his exploration and his travels. There's also a super random essay and chapter here that's about his visit to Ghana just post-independence. And for me, as somebody who's a Ghanaian living in Poland as an immigrant, that deeply fascinates me. Especially given that my grandmother's home in Ghana was built by a Polish architect who survived Auschwitz. So anytime I see Ghana and Poland sort of overlap in any narrative, I'm wildly fascinated. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going through it. It's one of Penguin's modern classics, and I think it's a great read. I think it's a very interesting read. But I'll let you know what I think after I'm done with it. Okay, see you next time. Bye.